At the end of the topic, you will be able to define air pollution, discuss the gaseous pollutants of air, list down the harmful effects of gaseous and particulate pollutants, air pollution and its types. The condition in which air is contaminated by foreign substances or the substances themselves is called air pollution. Two types of pollutants are seen in air. They are gaseous pollutants and particulate pollutants. Gaseous pollutants are the substances whose boiling point is below 200 degrees centigrade. Particulate pollutants may be either solids or liquids and may be of various sizes and have boiling points above 200 degrees centigrade. Air pollution, gaseous pollutants. Gaseous pollutants, as the name indicates, are pollutants in the form of gas. Sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, vapors of hydrocarbon are some of the gaseous pollutants formed by human activity. Click on each text box to know more about the gaseous pollutants. All the fossil fuels such as coal and petroleum contain small amount of sulfur and nitrogen. When these fuels are burnt, sulfur gets converted to sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, nitrogen into nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide. These get dissolved in rainwater or in the moisture or water vapor present in the atmosphere and form acids like sulfuric acid and sulfurous acid. These acids get deposited on land through rain. This is called acid rain. Carbon monoxide is an odorless and colorless gas. It is highly toxic and causes death in a short time after inhalation. It is produced by incomplete combustion of coal and other carbon compounds when they are used as fuel in coal stoves, automobiles and also in coal mine exhaust. Carbon dioxide is produced by burning fossil fuels and during respiration by plants and animals. Carbon dioxide is used by plants and removed from air. But large amount of carbon dioxide is present in a dissolved state in oceans. It has slowly increased in the past few decades, which has resulted in the increase in temperature of the earth due to the rapid increase of industries, automobiles, destruction of forests, and so on. Chlorofluoromethane is a compound consisting of chlorine, fluorine, and methane. Chlorofluoromethane is added into air from refrigerators and by using spray bottles. It has the potential to destroy ozone in the stratosphere, which results in global warming. Chlorofluoromethane have similar properties, applications, and ozone depletion potential as chlorofluorocarbons. Air pollution, particulate pollutants. Particulate pollutants, as the name indicates, are pollutants in particle form. Larger particles of solids and liquids, droplets, settle down quickly while smaller particles settle down slowly. Very fine particles do not settle down at all. Ash and metal vapors are typical examples of particulate pollutants. Beside these, pollen grains, bacteria, fungi are also particulate pollutants present in the air. Gaseous and particulate pollutants, harmful effects. Gaseous and particulate pollutants cause health problems, damage crops and buildings, changes climatic conditions, and so on. Acid rain causes widespread damage to plants and animals. Hydrocarbon in air causes premature falling of leaves, flowers, and fruits, and also discoloration of various plant parts. Gases like sulfur dioxide causes watering in eyes, irritation, and drying of mouth. Carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin present in red blood cells and reduces oxygen supply to tissues. This may also lead to death. Pollen grains, bacterial and fungal spores cause various types of allergic conditions, including asthma in man. Lead compounds damage nervous system. Pollutants also cause immense damage to the domestic livestock, such as cattle and poultry. They reduce the production of meat, milk, and eggs.
Gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are oxidized to form sulfuric and nitric acids along with water and precipitate as acid rain. It damages building materials, plants, and animals. It also makes the soil acidic. It irritates the eyes and the skin of human beings. It inhibits germination and growth of seedlings. It changes the fertility of the soil, destroys plant and aquatic life. Ozone is a colorless gas found in the upper atmosphere, stratosphere, and is highly beneficial. The ozone layer is thinning due to the emission of pollutants into the atmosphere. Holes caused in the ozone layer allow harmful ultraviolet rays to reach the earth.
Air pollution, prevention and control. Realizing the harmful effects of air pollutants, efforts are being made to reduce the air pollution. Unleaded petrol is now being used in automobiles to reduce lead pollution. Complete burning of hydrocarbons in the automobiles reduces the smoke exhaust content in air. Electrostatic precipitators are used to reduce the particulate matter in the factory smoke. Always try to minimize smoke emission as it can contribute to air pollution. One way is to compost dried leaves and kitchen waste instead of burning them. The effective way to prevent air pollution is to use alternative energy sources such as solar energy, hydroelectric energy, and wind energy. In this topic, you have learned the condition in which air is contaminated by foreign substances or the substances themselves is called air pollution. Gaseous pollutants, as the name indicates, are pollutants in the form of gas. Particulate pollutants, as the name indicates, are pollutants in particle form. Acid rain caused widespread damage to plants and animals. Lead compounds damage nervous system. The effective way to prevent air pollution is to use alternative energy sources such as solar energy, hydroelectric energy, and wind energy.
At the end of the topic, you will be able to explain the causes of water pollution, list down the effects of water pollution, describe the prevention of water pollution. Water pollution. Introduction. Water covers over 70% of the Earth's surface and is a very important resource for people and the environment. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies like groundwater, lakes, rivers, oceans, and so on. Water pollution occurs when pollutants are discharged directly or indirectly into water bodies without adequate treatment to remove harmful compounds. This consequently harms human health and the natural environment. Water pollution causes. The main causes of water pollution are the city sewage and industrial waste that are discharged into the rivers. Due to this, pollutants enter the groundwater and other water bodies. Agricultural runoff is another major water pollutant as it contains fertilizers and pesticides. Click on each image to know the causes of water pollution. Water is polluted either intentionally or unintentionally by industrial wastes. Used water released from industries contain a variety of chemicals. These chemicals contain organic or inorganic substances. When the chemicals enter the water bodies, they cause immense damage to ecosystem. Most of the chemicals are toxic and kill aquatic organisms. They react with oxygen and reduce the oxygen level in the water. This affects the life of aquatic organisms. Sewage is the term used for wastewater that often contains feces, urine, and laundry waste. Slaughterhouses, poultry, and dairy farms also discharge their effluent water into water bodies. Organic compounds in these water bodies promote the growth of microorganisms. These microorganisms reduce the oxygen availability to the aquatic organisms. Washing of domestic animals and taking bath also pollute and contaminate the water bodies. These make the water bodies unfit for human use. Any damage to the oil tankers results in the leakage of oil into sea. Oil spreads on the seawater is called oil slick. Oil slick does not allow oxygen to penetrate into water and causes the death of aquatic organisms. Bacteria that can degrade oil have been isolated and cultured in the field of biotechnology to remove oil slicks. Nuclear waste and hot water are produced from industrial, medical, and scientific processes that use radioactive material. Nuclear waste can have detrimental effects on marine habitats. These wastes reduce the amount of oxygen available to the aquatic organisms. Many organisms die due to this lack of oxygen. Fertilizers and pesticides are washed out from the agricultural land during rain and reach various local water bodies. These chemicals promote the uncontrolled growth of diatoms, algae, and other plants in the water bodies, leading to a process called eutrophication. These uncontrolled growths blocks the water flow and reduces the oxygen level in the water bodies. When this water is consumed by the fishes, these chemicals enter the food chain and affect the entire ecosystem. Water pollution. Effects. Heavy metal from industrial processes are toxic to aquatic life such as fish and shellfish, and subsequently to the humans who eat it. Industrial waste contains many toxic compounds that can cause immune suppression, reproductive failure, or acute poisoning to the aquatic organisms. Microbial pollutants from sewage result in infectious diseases that infect aquatic and terrestrial life through drinking water. Organic matter and nutrients causes an increase in aerobic algae and depletes oxygen from the water column. This causes the suffocation of fish and other aquatic organisms. Sulfate particles from acid rain can harm the health of aquatic life and result in mortality. Suspended particles in the water bodies can often reduce the amount of sunlight penetrating, disrupting the growth of photosynthetic plants and microorganisms. Water pollution. Prevention. Conserve water by turning off the tap when running water is not necessary. This helps to prevent water shortages and reduces the amount of contamination. Avoid pouring paints and oils in the water bodies. Use environmental-friendly household products such as washing powder, household cleaning agents, and toiletries. Take great care not to overuse pesticides and fertilizers. This will prevent runoffs of the material into nearby water sources. Help to clean up any litter on beaches or in rivers and lakes. Make sure it is safe to collect the litter and put it in a nearby dustbin.
Sewage treatment plants should be installed to treat sewage before releasing into water bodies. Excessive use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers should be avoided. Biological control of insect pests and organic farming is to be followed in order to reduce the dependence on pesticides and inorganic fertilizers. By legislation and strict enforcement. By creating social awareness among people about the water pollution and the need for pure water.
Polluted water. Treatment. The only method to reduce water pollution is to treat and clean the sewage water and effluents from industries before releasing them into water bodies. For this purpose, wastewater is to be filtered first to remove particulate material and stored in shallow tanks where bacterial degradation of organic compounds take place. This water is then treated with chlorine gas to kill the bacteria. Nitrates and phosphates are finally removed by chemical treatments, and this water is then released into the water bodies. In this topic, you have learnt water pollution is the contamination of water bodies like groundwater, lakes, rivers, oceans, and so on. The main causes of water pollution are the city sewage and industrial waste discharged into the rivers. Microbial pollutants from sewage results in infectious diseases that infect aquatic and terrestrial life through drinking water. Conserve water by turning off the tap when running water is not necessary. The only method to reduce water pollution is to treat and clean the sewage water and effluents from industries before releasing them into water bodies. At the end of the topic, you will be able to list down the causes of soil pollution, explain the effects of soil pollution, discuss the prevention and control of soil pollution. Soil pollution. Introduction. Soil pollution can be described as the contamination of soil of a particular region. Soil pollution may occur indirectly or directly. Soil pollution may alter the physical, chemical, and biological nature of soil and make it unfit for plant growth, animal and human use. Soil pollution in agricultural areas affects crop productivity and may even make the land unfit for agriculture. Soil pollution. Causes. Soil pollution is a result of many activities and experiments done by mankind. Some of the leading soil pollution causes are industrial wastes, harmful chemicals, agricultural pesticides, fertilizers, and insecticides. Unfavorable and harmful irrigation practices, improper septic system, leakages from sanitary sewage, acid rain, fuel leakages from automobiles that get washed away due to rain and seep into the nearby soil, release of sewage into the large dumping grounds and nearby streams or rivers. Soil pollution. Effects. Some of the most serious soil pollution effects are decrease in soil fertility and therefore decrease the crop yield, loss of soil nutrients and therefore no plant growth that results in soil erosion, disturbance in the balance of flora and fauna residing in the soil, increase in salinity of the soil which makes it unfit for vegetation. If some crops manage to grow in the polluted soil, they would be poisonous enough to cause serious health problems in people consuming them. Soil pollutants would bring in alteration in the soil structure, which would lead to move the animals to other places because they lose their food supply. Soil management, prevention and control. Soil pollution may be minimized by collecting the waste properly. Domestic waste and also wastes from industries, which include metals, certain types of plastics. Glass can be separated, melted and reused. This reduces the soil pollution. Paper products can be converted into pulp and they can be used again to make paper. It not only reduces the pollution but also saves trees as paper is manufactured from bark and wood of trees. Biological wastes include the wastes like discarded food, vegetables, and fruits which can be used for the production of manure. This reduces the soil pollution. Harmful wastes containing pathogenic organisms and those which cannot be easily recycled are to be burnt carefully in places away from residential areas. Thus, soil pollution can be controlled to a certain extent. In this topic, you have learnt soil pollution can be described as the contamination of soil of a particular region. Soil pollution may alter the physical, chemical, and biological nature of soil and make it unfit for plant growth, animal, and human use. Industrial wastes, such as harmful chemicals, agricultural pesticides, fertilizers, and insecticides, are the most important causes of soil pollution. Soil pollutants would bring in alteration in the soil structure, which would lead to move the animals to other places because they lose their food supply. Domestic waste and also wastes from industries which include metals, certain types of plastics, and glass can be separated, melted, and reused. This reduces the soil pollution.